it is renewed not renewed, but it's applied for every year. So because I'm imagining that any decision from the county about a bus stop would take
A while.
a big,
That'll
you know,
take a
it
while.
would eclipse the
They're-
season,
They actually
let me put it that way.
Sorry, you missed the meeting. They actually prefer it to be on the other side. So everybody needs to do it.
It is the village's determination to move it from a near side to a far side, but yes, when they change the red line and green line, they put another, you have to go every 2 blocks. So right, if we wanted to actually move it to a different intersection, that's another story.
Yes, but across the intersection would be,
Yeah, we would just say do it tomorrow.
oh, I see. And so, but then we need an input on that, or whatever process we would go.
Right, and that has to be further discussed about the process.
Okay, you want me
I do have one other, how do, if we amend the motion, what Nathan's going to word for me, I really believe this business is a bike-friendly business, and is there a way to assure from staff or from the president that we will, the next agenda, or, make it a priority to make a decision on moving those bike rack, putting the bike rack on the sidewalk? We can do that right away, because I just feel like, it's part of his brand, and as a business, it's,
If we put it in,
We put it.
what if we put it
in our
in
own.
municipal
Yeah, we don't.
bike path, we just put it in the right of way. We don't need board authorization to do that. We have control of the site, sure.
Yeah,
State
we'll get
permit or
her in
anything,
there.
because that's not a state road, is it?
No, I don't believe
So we don't need any outside approvals. The only thing we would commit to the board this evening is that if we do that, we'll consult with the adjacent property owners, pick the final locations, and make sure they're acceptable to the property owners.
that would be acceptable, so we can be word the amendment.
I just want to make sure, is it to exclude the bike corral, or is the bike corral replaced by a table corral?
To exclude the bike rail and have the parklet with the same dimensions that it currently has.
You want to amend the motion to approve the parklet and reject the bike trail. That's all you
Approve the
need.
parklet with the reduction of, elimination of the, how many feet, it's 9.5 feet.
But I don't even have to say that because that's all in there, so if you
Yes,
remove
it's
it.
in there. You just approve the parklet, there's a
The only
standard
caveat.
design criteria for that.
Only caveat that we discussed in committee is you do need a wheel, you do need to add then to comply with the you need a wheel bollard and.
You don't need to get into that minutia though. If you approve the parklet, that's the basic design for the parklet. So that'll be taken care of automatically.
Deal, I'll do that.
Second.
Any discussion?
What was the actual motion there?
Motion to grant the parklet.
Grant the petitioner's request for the parklet and deny the bike trail.
You good?
Yes.
Can I just ask for clarification of the, and I think Matt already gave us, so the current dimension of the bike corral is how many feet? The current dimension, or what you had last year,
20 feet by 6.
20 feet? And
It fits
what-
within the, I mean, it's setting there, I can measure it.
Yeah,
It's
the
about
parklet is 25 and a half. There's a 4-foot ballard, protective ballard, reflective ballard that goes with that. There'll be another 4 foot on the other end. So it's going to go from about 39 feet down to about 20, or about 30 feet,
So,
32 feet.
okay, but what he had last year was just the bike corral, which is 20 feet. And what we're proposing now under the amended motion is, what did you just say? 30 feet.
Yeah, it'll be
It'll be 25 feet without the minutia.
8. So
The wheel stops are not going to
33
affect
and a
the
half.
parking.
Okay,
Unless
so,
you run it over.
so 33, okay, so I just wanted to get and in terms of parking spots, is that going from 1 to 2 still, or, okay, I just wanted to have that clarification of what they have with the bike corral, and that's going another 50%, more than 50% more with the.
Are we definitely moving the bus stop then? Is that?
Bus stop is another discussion.
It's not on the agenda, so we can't.
Be working on it.
It's public meeting laws.
Do we need to keep coming to meetings to push this through, or?
Yeah, because
It's not on the agenda, so we can't do that.
from, I mean, I know this seems like, oh, we're, making a nice compromise, but in reality, I think we've had two extensive discussions now at subsequent meetings, and I'm not sure that the complaints that the neighboring businesses have brought up are really improved by this compromise.
I have to disagree.
I disagree with you too.
I think it is.
I agree.
Because the,
Well, okay, if your neighbors don't have, if you don't have a problem with it, I mean, then we'll all just go ahead with it.
Well, we don't because I'm
Do you
very
have a
thankful
problem?
that you're gonna move forward with.
I mean,
I'm moving the bus stop and looking for, I would like to do another parking, revision, give us a,
Well, that's
Oh,
not
yeah.
what's before us right now.
that's right, but what's now, I think, for me, I'm very excited, I don't wanna hold him back from him, I want him to have it. I was not here just for that, I was here for the mere fact of parking.
Mr. Webb?
Okay, I didn't hear the answer to the last question for clarification was, how many parking spaces did we lose, were used last year, not lose, but used last year,
2 years ago.
or 2 years ago? How many parking spaces was that? How many parking spaces would it be if you did, as it's written now, I don't know if you've changed the motion yet, and then how many parking spaces are used under the modified motion? I mean, that's really what we're,
It's feet, so we've saved 20 feet as a parking space, but in all reality, 3 cars can fit in 40 feet. So they're not striped. So we did talk about this in committee a little bit.
okay.
You're not gaining a whole parking space, but because there's parking to the north, you're gaining enough that if cars, depending on the size of the cars, you could fit another car, but not by itself.
I see, so we're not really gaining another parking space, really. Maybe if we had small cars and people were parked tight.
You probably will gain another spot.
You're gaining 9 feet, okay. That's that, okay, that's the bottom line, right?
5.5.
5.5, we're
5.5 feet we're talking about, more or less.
That's a little car,
Well,
That's a clown car,
a mini.
mini clown car.
On the north of the thing, they're tight spots at this point because it's an apron. So 2 cars, having the extra 5 feet actually gives you a little more play to assure you have 2 spots with people moving around. I think we need to make a commitment though to get the bike racks in place by the time the parkland is in place. To keep the momentum on biking, and this is a bike destination, this neighborhood's a bike destination, these businesses are bike destinations. We gotta keep that going.
No, you
We
don't.
also need your help when the neighbors in the apartment to the south of you are concerned about moving the bus stop. So, I mean, it really, what I don't want to have is another, a situation where one block is, trying to defend their part to the other block. We want to try to come up with that this is a positive for everybody, that we're trying to be, there's not enough parking, right? And so we're trying to do the best we can and be creative and things.
Yes, sir.
My name is Jeff Scarrows. I own a wine shop at 4409 North Oakland. You're still, if you vote for this, are still doing something to the detriment of daytime businesses, some of whom are struggling, to benefit one business that is open from 3 o'clock on, and basically its purpose is to serve alcohol. And I know you're trying to encourage bicycling, but he's doing fine already. He's gonna make it whether he has this parking or not. But not everybody who's there during the day is. So think very carefully before you vote for this. I know this is a pilot program anyway, but maybe this pilot program wasn't a great idea. Maybe you need to re-examine that. You need to see what the neighbors of the other 2 places that you had last year, what they think, before you go ahead and approve a few more places. As it is, it sounds like you've already approved one for the chocolate factory. That's in our realm too. That's a few more spaces that are gone, really, that people can park. Yeah. I mean, I occasionally park where that bus stop is going to be, I hope. But without any more parking, unless, did you say that we can tell people to park in that parking lot across the street?
They don't utilize 3 spaces.
Is it a public parking lot? I mean, so what did we find out from that? Anything?
It's not public, but you've got a good chance of not getting a ticket.
No, I disagree. My customers have gotten parking tickets in the bank parking lot. Yep.
Okay. So I can't encourage that, I mean, I don't know, I still think that 8 businesses are losing out to the benefit of one business who really doesn't need any help, he's doing fine.
I'm going to vote against the amendment, and I understand that you're offering it, but for the reason that we initially approved corrals, and it again fits in with the healthy community, the promotion of health and wellness, an ecologically responsible community, and all the things that a lot of the people that who live in this community stand for. So I understand that there's an argument here, and there's also no empirical evidence that the 5.5 feet that we granted is going to destroy the businesses around them or save them.
I'm going to give you the last word here.
Well, I do hate to do anything to impede Nate's business. I want him to be as successful as he
It's not about
possibly
his
can.
business,
Well,
it's about the community.
then why is the community getting involved in a private petition? You know, just because this is something you want to see, doesn't mean that this is a petition that was initiated with the village. Nate is putting in a personal request to take over public property. And then you're intertwining that with what you want to see for the future in village. You're tying your interest into his and weighing a burden that we're going to have to suffer against your interest in what you want to see in the future. Not a simple petition from Nat to the village saying, give me some public land to do my business in. You're throwing your own interests and the village's interests on top of everything else, when the very simple thing is, it's an issue with him applying for a permit to use public space. And in order to do that, he's got to be able to show certain things. And if it possesses any burden to the neighbors or public, then it's got to be denied. That's just the way the codes are written and the ordinances. By putting yourselves in there and saying this is what we want for the future, then you are allowing yourself to waive burden when you shouldn't be able to waive burden at all in this issue. Saying, all right, it's going to hurt you X amount of dollars, it's going to help you X amount of dollars, but this is what we want for the village. You're mixing in too much to a simple factor. It's between one simple petition to take public property for private use and being able to show that it meets the community needs, that's absolutely necessary, and that and then it cannot cause burden to other property owners and other businesses. You know, I mean, if you're going to implement this at all, I think you're going to be in violation of some state ordinance because, you know, that's something your attorneys can deal with. But, you know, if you're going to implement this, I'd like to see some resolution to the problems we already have rather than complicating them. Knocking us down to 5 parking spots. I mean, it was bad enough when we only had 13 without the bus. Fix some of the existing problems before exasperating them further.
Thank you. Pardon? Yeah. We have an amended motion.
I apologize. I would like to ask our attorney, do you think that we're in violation of a state statute?
The local ordinance that governs special privileges in public right-of-ways is 466-18, which is modeled after Chapter 66, Plan 402. And it basically makes it a discretionary decision of the board. And also, you have the opportunity to, if it's not working out, or if something's not working right. The ordinance also states that that it is granted subject to basically saying that it can be removed at the discretion in the future at the discretion of the board. So, you know, if it gets to be August or a couple months down the road, there's been some problems, you have discretion to say that.
So like a loading zone with a community, I mean, you can
Kind of.
always take it away.
Well, those are your local ordinances. Check state ordinances, 62.23.
It's modeled after 66-402, with specific statutory authorization. And it's actually verbatim from the statute, it's exact same from 66-402.
Okay, well, I'm not gonna debate law because not my expertise. But, you know, I mean, if you're gonna do this, try to correct some of the existing problems, because we're looking at a pricey commodity being used. And if we can at least break even on the deal, at least we're no worse off than you were. Fix some of the existing problems, get rid of the bus stop. Don't take another full third of what we have left until you give us at least something back on the stuff we lost prior.
Okay, thank you. We have an amended motion. We have a motion to amend. Thank you. Okay, and would you just read the motion to amend, please?
To grant the parkland and deny the bike corral. That's amending the main motion.
That's the main
Okay.
motion. Oh,
Don't we have to vote? This
Vote
is
on the
a,
amendment
this is a
first.
motion to amend the main motion.
Then you vote on it as amended.
Oh,
So, all in favor? Is there a question?
no, no.
Okay. All in favor of the motion to amend, say aye. Aye. Opposed?
Nay.
What was that vote?
2 nays.
2 nays.